hopefully we can all relate to this cost-benefit analysis that we can do in our heads around, like, is it worth it? Is it worth it for me to take this stand? I'm wondering how, from your perspective, how do we know whether it's worth it based on what we think the worst possible outcome might be?
Well, you have to try out new responses, and you'll never know if it's worth it. If the person you're dealing with is so locked into their angry, defensive way of being, it may not be worth it, and that includes everyone in your life. I don't care what their name is, if it's husband, mother, father, sister, child. If somebody is consistently making you feel like you're a pawn in their life, basically, and moving you around that chessboard according to their whims, and if your fears take over when you're being pressured, because emotional blackmail is a very intense form of pressure, and if you're so afraid of their disapproval or of their anger or of feeling the guilt, so you can see that the fear of what you might feel, the guilt is such a terrible, powerful force for so many of us, and forces so many unhealthy, self-defeating choices for us. So it's a question of realizing that you can tolerate the guilt. Guilt will diminish in the service of becoming a healthier and stronger person. And that's one of the things I teach the people that I work with, is that nobody ever died from guilt that I'm aware of. But while guilt will diminish, the constant erosion of your confidence, your self-respect, your dignity will not diminish. And it's like water wearing away on a rock, and the rock becomes a stone, and then it becomes a pebble. And I don't want to see anybody give up so much of themselves. You always hear so much from people so often, I gave up myself in that relationship. I don't know who I am anymore. Well, if you can get into what's really going on, chances are, let's leave the extreme cases of emotional abuse outside for a moment, because those are frequently relationships that cannot be salvaged. But if it's a question of being manipulated and controlled by guilt, you can very often change that with the courage to overcome your fears.